Ha ha! Good afternoon, adventurers. That's right. Today is Friday. Welcome to the weekend. And that's right. Being Friday, it's time for John's Dungeon Corner from the Collective in Altamont Springs, Florida. That's right. Let's see what we got going on today. We got some good stuff. I'm going to answer some, as the title of the log there said, magic, and more magic. Well, magic items, that to be exact. All kinds of things magical, right? Okay, so before we get too far into it, let's remind everybody that on the 17th, happy Friday. Welcome to the show, Sarah. How you doing? All right. So let's talk about a few things that are up and coming. Yes. All right. The first thing is on the 17th. Well, let's start with tomorrow. Just found out tomorrow is going to be paint day with Fiona, who you saw last month on the show. And that was really neat. She's having her Saturday, first Saturday of the month painting day. I believe it starts at 10. So bring a miniature, bring some paints. You can use her paints. She's a very generous person. She's going to sit there and, help you with whatever it is you want with painting, whether it's basing or shading or putting down a base coat or highlighting. Bring a miniature and work on it while you're here. She'll help you out. Okay, so that's tomorrow the 3rd. Now on the 17th, we have the big battle royale, and it's game day. Okay, battle royale. Let's talk about battle. Yes, it's game day. So come on out. There's going to be a lot of cool stuff going on. But we also have a battle royale. All right? And I'm going to talk about that a little later to let you know what the little backdrop of all that craziness is all about. All right, so now, on a more now point, let's talk about a couple cool things that came in. Antonio's not on, but he's going to love this. So, tomorrow's on International Tabletop Day. Look at that. All right, so let's celebrate. Wherever you are, let's celebrate International Tabletop Day, all right? That's an important day, right? You're going to be here tomorrow? He'll be here tomorrow. I might try to stop by tomorrow. Never know with me. I'm here, I'm there, and everywhere. But check this out. So normally mimics are something you want to try to avoid. Now this treasure chest is obviously a mimic, but of course being a mimic, it just begs us to open it, right? Of course it does. So we open it up, boom. And inside, looks really cool, like the inside of a mimic should. And then look what's inside of them though. Look at that. These are the sharp edge, straight edge, pointy, precision dice. Look at that. Very nice. Okay. Now here, yes, dice, of course. So the mimic. Now here's the cool part about this. Each set is a mystery set of dice. So it's not the same set of dice. So there's this one. Now take a look at these. They're the cool crackle ones too. Oh, they look so good. So inside this one, those were clear. These are pink. You can't really see them very well on the camera, okay? Right there. I'm gone. I'm invisible now. Look, he's eating the die. But anyway, no, they're really cool. These are the pink ones here. Okay, and they're crackle dice. You got a full set in there. Really nice. I like clickety clackety attacky rocks. So these are really cool. These are the sharp edge pointies. Now they also come in the normal resin. They're all resin, but they come in the regular resin. Oh, just pull the tongue up, boop, and it pops out. And there they go. And Jason was talking about D4, so here it is. D4s. That's what I'm showing you. Look at that color. I want to say by the composition of the resin in these, I believe these are probably glow in the darks. Okay, let me see. Yep, they are. This set here, this set of mystery dice is actually glow in the dark. So these are really cool. And you get the cool beholder box in them, and you carry a set of dice in there, your special set. Lend these to a player. Go ahead. If you survive the mimic, you can borrow the dice. Oh, boy. But these are really cool, right? Those are really cool. We'll open this one up. Come to me. And they're magnetic. They got a magnetic closure on them right here, so that's really neat. Of course, the Dragon Dice Towers. Get them before they're sold out because they are selling out. Now, got some really cool DM aids here. So I always talk about miniatures, this, that, the other, about having some and needing some, and it's really neat. It adds a different, a very aesthetic value to the game and in appearance and looks, so that the players can hold. So they came out with these flat, remember the flat plastic minis I had shown you a while back? They've come out in sets. Well, this is a full flat plastic minis DM starter set. Has 167 pieces in it. It has 30 small, 100 medium, 25 large, and 12 giants. Okay? These are really nice. Look at that. That's some of the ones that come back in the back. The big giant ones. There's a drag. Oh, there we go. Let me turn this up like this. Let's see if I can get it in focus. There's a dragon right here. It goes across. So this is really neat. So for all, oh, there's a dragon here also, over here. So there's a couple dragons, and I think these are all dragons, actually. This is a giant in the middle here, a giant here. So there's 3 dragons, it looks like, and 3 giants. And then this is kind of like the front. Oh, there goes a roper, in fact. There's a roper, D&D roper right here. Okay. Just a couple things that I can tell. Oh, man, these are pretty cool. Some kobolds here. Some characters, I believe, right there. So it's a nice set. It comes... Oh, there's goblins in here. Of course there are. What game would be complete without goblins? I mean, fun. But these look really cool. And there's 167 pieces in here. So there's all kinds of really neat stuff. And then, to take it one step further, see, so they're trying to make it to where everybody can have a lot of fun things to use and expensive. These are the spell effects. Okay? So there goes a fireball, of course. Lightning bolt streaking across under there. Shield spell, magic sword, the animated weapons, things like that. So a lot of different walls. There's a wall of earth, wall of ice, lightning bolt. Underneath there's more spell effects. So it's really nice. Now these came out in a box set of effects that was plastic, and I have that at home, but this is really nice to have because it's a lot less expensive and it does the same thing. So it's really neat. Lets you kind of mark your magical spell effects. So that's really nice. I like that. So they're trying to have it makes packing to go easier. Yeah, yes, it does. It really does. It makes it to where you can carry more stuff. No, and effectively, this is just, if you leave it in a little thing and you just carry it like this, look at that. I mean, and all the spell effects are in here. That's what's really neat, because I see like the, what do you call it? The cone of code in here. Let's see. I see a cone of code. I see the circle, the protections. So it's really nice. I like it. Web is in here. I see it right here. Web. So a lot of cool effects. All right. So with that being said, now we've kind of tossed that out. Let's get to the question that was asked of me. And basically what I'm going to base this, the first, because like I said, June was going to be a little bit of everything. And I think that this is a great way to start it from both a player's point of view and I like using web. Indeed, you do. Sarah makes very good use of web. Spells that you don't think of, and they're great. They're fantastic. And she's used it quite effectively. So now, today's topic, like I said, is one that's great. It's a great topic. It's about magical items. And the first question that I got was from a new DM saying, hey, how many magical items should I be putting into the game? The players are asking me. I don't really know, because obviously they're new to it, and that's okay. And what is attunement all about? Okay, so that's one part of it. The second part, from a player's point of view, is how how many magical items can my character use at one time, which is an own? And that's a great question because of attunement and the things in D&D. Let's go through that. Let's go through a couple things like that. All right, so magical items. Magical items, they have 5 different ratings, okay? They start from common, the more common magical items. And usually, one of the big things is, hey, there's not a lot of common magical items in D&D. That's very true, actually. Most of them are potions. I think some scrolls, and I think there's a few items, but very few. Very, very few, okay? So that's one thing. But common. Then you go up to the next level, which is uncommon, okay? Then from uncommon, we go to rare. The rare, of course, now you're starting to get into more powerful magical items. They're harder to find. We go from rare to very rare. Now, these are they're not quite one of a kinds, but there's very few of them. Things like, I don't know. I don't want to say anything off the top of my head. I kind of looked at a lot of things, but I want to really get into that once I get to another point that I want to make. But you got the very rare items. And then, of course, you get to the level of legendary. Legendary items are one of a kind. There's one. That's why they're legendary. That's why the distinction between that very rare and legendary is a fine line, but it's easy because there's on the other side of the line. So there's very rare all the way down to common over here. Here, there's only one of them. So there may be 100 potions of healing per se, but there's only one staff of power. Okay, so that's the difference. There's only one. Whether it's in possession of somebody or it's lost somewhere, there's only one. One. All right. So that's what that means. Those are the 5 categories. You have common, uncommon, rare, very rare, and legendary. Hey, brother. Thank you for watching. All the way from New York. I appreciate you. So those are your 5 different classifications of magical items. Now, to get to the nitty-gritty about how many magical items you can have and your players should have and at what level and all that, let me just read you right from the Dungeon Master's Guide, okay? It's on page 133. Excuse me. That's at the table, but that's where treasure starts. It's chapter 7 of the DM's Guide. But let's go to the actual magical item tables, all right? And there's one table in particular that's really helpful. It's on page 135, and it's called the Magic Item Rarity Table. Go figure, right? And it says right under rarity, it gives you the 5: common, uncommon, rare, very rare, and legendary. Common items such as potion of healing are the most plentiful. Some legendary items, such as the apparatus of Qualish, are unique. Unique meaning that there's only one of them. All right, now, so the rarity, starting with common. Usually those can be handed out at first level. Yes, I know it sounds crazy coming into the game with a magical item. Like I said, the common ones are very few. There's very few of them. Most of them are potions and 1 or 2 trinkets here or there, right? Okay. Now, first to higher level. Uncommon, first to higher level. Excuse me. Rare ones should be at 5th level and higher. There should be some rare items out there. Now, very rare items, they're talking about 11th level or higher, and legendary is 17th or higher. So that's what the book recommends. I'm just going to read you what the guidelines are. Remember, these are guidelines. These aren't written in stone, in concrete, in platinum, in titanium, in anything like that. So, once again, guidelines, DMs, guidelines. And as you go into here, you start looking at the magical items themselves. You're like, okay, so these are the treasure hoard tables. They got to tell you what to get. You got armor, potions, rings, rods, scrolls, staff, wands, and weapons. Wondrous items. Which is, if it doesn't fall, here's the funny thing. Here's how I'm going to put it to you. Okay, so watch. There's armor and potions, rings, rods, scrolls, staff, wands, and weapons. If it doesn't fall into any of those items, it's going to go into wondrous items. That's how it all works. It's a catch-all for everything else. Okay? So it talks about activations and so on and so forth. Now, that part about, let me go back up a little bit because somebody had sat there and talked about, had asked me about attunement. How according to the book, you can only have 3 magical items attuned to you. Okay, and here's what it says about it too. I'm just going to read it to you because it's easier, and then we'll talk about it. So some magical items require a creature to form a bond with them before their magical properties can be used. This bond is called attunement, and certain items have a prerequisite for it. It might be a class, it might be, whatever it may be. You may have to have a certain attribute level, whether it's intelligence or wisdom or whatever. So basically, if you're not attuned to a magical item, you only get the non-magical benefits of it. Okay. Okay, so here's a good example. This is a great example, actually. For example, a magic shield that requires attunement provides the benefits of a normal shield to a creature not attuned to it, but none of its magical properties. So let's say, for instance, that it's a shield of a +1 shield. Let's just say it's a +1 shield. So you would get the +2, but until you become attuned, I don't know that a +1 shield would need to be attuned, but just in case it may have other magical items, you would have to become attuned to get all the magical benefits of it. All you have to do is spend a short rest, focus on only that item while being in physical contact with it. Okay. So the way I describe it is, okay, so you find a sword, it's very light, it's got some inscriptions on it. You want to tune to it. Basically, they would practice drawing it out of their sheath, maybe thrusting with it, parrying with it, striking, slashing, whatever. So basically, they're going through their martial training with it, what we call in martial arts is called katas. Okay, so they go through their steps with it. They swing it. If it's a long sword, maybe they're swinging it one-handed, then they're swinging it two-handed, as the case may be. So you're tuning with it. You're bonding with it. Right? That's what that means. Same thing, a ring, you would put it on, you would focus on it, maybe move it around from finger to finger, maybe see if there's any inscriptions on the inside, but you'd be in touch with it for that short rest. All right, so that's attunement. Okay, that's easy enough. Now, okay, the answer of how many of these items. Now, there's a table, and I'm not going to get into much of anything with this because the attunement says that you can have up to 3 items. 3, which is my favorite number, by the way, 3. But what I will tell you is that in my game, and other DMs, they do things a little differently. Some will only let you have the 3. And at first, I sometimes limit it for the newer players. I usually allow everybody to have 3 for sure. But what I like to do is as they get up higher level, because almost everything that's worth its weight in gold or worth its salt is an attunement. Okay, so if you have a shield and the armor and the helm, you really can't be attuned to a sword and a ring. Okay, so, and the reason I said that specifically is because what I like to do is your hand has 5 fingers. So I figure, okay, a handful of attuned items. Eventually you can have a handful of attuned items, which is 5. Okay. Now, how you do that is completely up to you. Okay. You can have, like I said, a pair of boots, a shield. A shield, a set of armor, and a helm, and then maybe a pair of boots and a sword. Or you can have 2 rings and an amulet, a staff, and a cloak. So whatever combination, okay, you can have two swords if you're a dual wielder. You can have 2 swords and a bow and a shield in case you want to go one-handed. Okay. So, my gosh, there's so many combinations, but 5. That's what I allow, a handful of attuned magic items. That's just me, but that's what I do. Now, other questions that came into mind, well, can I wear a ring on every finger? Well, yes and no. There's a way to deal with it in the player's handbook, but here's what I said. That's a lot of magic going on at once, okay, with the ring thing. So what I normally do is I allow a ring per finger. Okay. Now, do you want to wear 2 on one? Well, that's okay, but it's 2. That's it. 2 rings. I usually it's on one on each hand to kind of keep them separate. And then that begs the question of boots. Can I wear a boots of Spring and Striding and boots of Elvenkind and get both benefits? No, because just like bracers, gloves, and certain magical boots, especially I think just those 3, the boots, bracers, and gloves are all match sets. They come in a pair. So unless the item is a specific one, then there's 2 of them, then you have to wear both to get the magical effect. So you'd have to wear both boots of Elvenkind or both boots of Springing and Striding, or both braces of archery, or whatever it may be. Okay? All right, hopefully we understood that. Let me think of what else. Those are the little nuances, the little things about magical items that you kind of watch out for. Now, wearing magical items. The class, the rarity of an item is just to let you know, in a world that's, because, let me see how to put this. Dungeons and Dragons, if you notice in the Dungeon Master's Guide, does not have prices for the magical items either. Okay? They assume they pretty much the world has some magic in it, but it's not overly magical. Although fireballs, fire-breathing dragons, spell-casting necromancers, and liches, I don't know. How much more magic do you want, right? So depending on how prevalent magic is, not so much, maybe not even magic, but magical items. Because to make a magical item takes a lot of energy, a lot of time, a lot of expense. Okay? I call them the 3 E's: expense, experience, and energy. Okay? So those 3 things have to go into making every magical item. They don't just, there it is. No. There's steps that you follow to create these wondrous magical items. Oh, yes. It's the purple dragon. It's very nice. They have a red one, a blue one. The amethyst one is sold out. So, these dragon towers are really nice. Welcome to the show, my love. That's my wife on there. So, they're really cool, and they come in different colors. And I think they still have the skeleton on the throne, which is really cool. But I don't know if they do or don't. They're always getting new ones in, so it's always nice to come by. I tell you, it's always nice to come by here because some things are sold before I even get them on the show. Sometimes, trust me, I helped that happen once. Didn't realize I left it at home and didn't even think because I thought there was like half a dozen of them, and I bought it. Poof! Then they're gone by Friday. I'm like, whoa! So yes. Now, back to magical items. I believe a character can wear, as long as they don't overlap. You can't have 2 sets of gloves on. That's not going to happen. You can't put a helm on top of a helm, a set of chainmail on top of underneath. I know that sometimes you'll see plate mail where there's a suited chain. Now watch, there's a suited chain, plate mails with certain plates in the important vulnerable spots, right? But you can't wear a full suited chain and then put a full suited plate mail on. That's not going to work, okay? Or a full set of leather and then a full suit of chainmail. And then, no, that's not the way that works. So you can get it's not going to stack like that. 1 set of armor, 1 set of boots, 1 set of bracers, okay? 2 rings. And I'm just talking, my game, this is the way it works. A belt, no cross belts or bandolier, it's not going to work that way. But yet you can carry 4 or 5 magical weapons. Hey, as long as the weapons get along, that's okay, right? More on that some other time. Yes, there are sentient weapons in Dungeons and Dragons. And sometimes I get jealous of other weapons. But like I said, another time. So as far as that for players, talk to your game master, your DM, and say, hey, listen, what level of magic are we going to be able to get our hands on? Oh, and talking about that, DMs, first level players, a lot of people they shouldn't have any magic items. Well, let me give you a scenario, and I think I talked about this at the very beginning with the characters pulling their money together at the very start of an adventure, or possibly as a upfront reward for them accepting a mission, is that I will offer them potions of healing. What was the one thing a first level party can never have enough of? So you might give them a scroll of healing, cure wounds, or you might give them a couple of 2 or 3 potions of healing. Who cares? Especially if the party doesn't have a strong healer type, like a dedicated like cleric that can actually heal. Because you can have a paladin, but remember, a paladin lay on of hands, not until 2nd level do they start getting spells. Okay, so 1st level, that's it. Lay on of hands, and if you're lucky, you have a druid. Maybe you have what I like to call a celestial sorcerer that can cast healing magic, or a bard that can cast healing magic. But once again, unless you have like 2 or 3 of those, you're not going to be doing very well in the hit point department later on in the adventure. So give them a couple potions. Nudge them in the direction as a pre-reward. You want them to take this particular mission. Hey, look at the goodies that we got. It's not just about money. I'm gonna set you up with 3 potions and a scroll, healing draughts, and a scroll of healing. Ooh, that's cool. In my game, there's poultices that they can get from local herbalists. I get a little bit of money out of it. People are always wondering. One of the biggest questions, or not one of the biggest concerns sometimes with the DMs is, oh my gosh, they have all this gold and they want to buy this and they want to buy that. Well, you know what? There's always something simple. There's always supplies. There's always arrows to sell. Weapons got to be fixed. Armor's got to be mended. All right, shields got to be, straps got to be redone. Poultices, potions, scrolls, small magical items. It says in a month, that magical items aren't really for sale. This that because people can't afford them. Adventurers can. Adventurers can. Trust me. They get enough gold. They can eventually, and it gives them a purpose too. Other than just, let's hoard all this. What are you gonna do with all this gold? Then you become like a dragon. You can't even sleep in your own bed because there's so much gold in your room. And then you got to fend off the thieves, and you always got to be sleeping with one eye open, which means you're not really sleeping at all. Come on. So put some stuff out there. Some of these items can really lead to some really neat adventures. Just saying. That's, like I said, this is just a guide. See, Dungeon Masters, this is the neat thing. Dungeon Masters Guide. That's what it says. Okay, it's a guide with guidelines in it. So let's get away from that, and let's jump now to that first question about magical items. How much and then the other part of that is there's really not a lot of magical items in here that are common, and we talked about that, right? So I'm only going to show these to you. If you want to go out and try to find them, that's great. I'm going to show you some items that were made for Dungeons and Dragons 5e, actually, and you can use them in just about any game. And they have, oh my gosh, they got so many magical items here. There's even legendary potions in here. I mean, it's really neat. Uncommon, an oil of sharpening, which is a common one. An oil of numbing, which is a common one. So, this has a lot of cool different stuff, and not all of it. Here's a chalice of forbidden ecstasies, uncommon, a censer of dark shadows. A lot of them are uncommon, but there are some common items in there, rare. You can go through here, and there must be I don't even know how many items are in this book. Lots. Lots. Let me see. They put 2 in. Let me see. Page 45 has 1, 2, 3, 4 of them. 53 has 1, 2. There are approximately 220 pages of books of stuff here. Okay, well, here we go. I'll give you an example. And here, this is the name of the book, Vault of Magic. Okay, this is an armor. It's called an agile armor. Armor, any medium or heavy, and it's common. Okay, so this magically enhanced armor is less bulky than its non-magical version. While wearing a suit of medium agile armor, the maximum dexterity modifier you can add to determine your armor class is 3 instead of 2. While wearing a suit of heavy agile armor, the maximum dexterity modifier you can add to determine your armor class is 1 instead of 0. Now, is it magical? Yes, it's got a magical enhancement on it that allows it to become more agile. You can become more agile in it. Is it earth-shattering? Is it going to change the world? No. What it does is it makes medium armor. It takes medium armor and gives it a better dexterity bonus, and Same thing with heavy. It gives it a dexterity bonus. That's it. So there you go. All right. And remember, creatures, let me tell you something. Even the one quarter experience challenge rating goblin has a +4 to hit. All right. So people worry about armor classes. You're rolling enough dice that you're going to hit the guys. You're going to hit the players. It's not to worry about that. If you don't, well, big deal. Okay. So there's a lot of magical items that I just used that one. That's a common one. That's a nice little thing to put in a first level dungeon. What is it? Oh my God, it's suit of armor. Hey, wait, this seems a little lighter. You can describe it. Wow, this seems a little lighter. It's got some inscriptions on it in the strangest places. It's like, let me look at this. Detect magic. Whoa, it's magical. Okay, but what's it do? All right, well, let me try it on. That's one way we could do it, right? Okay, whoa, maybe it's cursed. Oh, I've heard of those things. I've read about those things, says the bard. I know. Hey, sorcerer, come over. Mage, come over. Hey, could you take the time to identify this? I'll make sure I reimburse you for the pearl out of my share. Okay. Oh wow, this type of armor is very agile. It's the enchantment on it is that it allows you to move better. So you can factor in your agility. You don't have to say dexterity. Your agility into your defenses. See, you move around better in it, and it helps you to improve your defenses. And then when you find out, now you can sit out again with the DM and ask, what's it do? Well, you told what I said. There you go. That nice role-playing session, real little role-playing. You've involved a couple of people into it, maybe. And you got a neat little magical item that really doesn't do it. It's not like I can just hand them a +3. I could have. I could have just said, okay, it was chainmail +1. But this is kind of neat. See? So that's one. Now, this is another one. This is called Incredible Items. And there's a lot of items in here, too. Now, these books belong to Antonio. He has gone out and found some really cool stuff. And yes, I use them. I think there's some really neat stuff in here. Let's see. What do we got here? I want to find something cool we can talk about. This one requires attunement. All right, let's go to something. Okay, here we go. This is like let's go to something uncommon. A ring of fortune. Ring uncommon, requires attunement. Okay, let's see. And they got real cool little pictures in there of them, right? Oh, wait. Let me do it like this. So they got some really cool pictures of the, do I need to bring it down? Up. Of the rings, okay? So this one, let's see what it is. This ornate golden ring is the bane of merchants the world over and known to them as the Skinflint's ring. The ring has one charge and regains its charge daily at dawn. When you're wearing this ring, you can use the charge to persuade a merchant to sell you one item for 50% of the sell price. The GM can decide the value of the item or a specific situation prevents this, which does not expend the charge. When you use this ring, you have disadvantage on charisma checks until dawn. So, it's a pro and con kind of thing, but the Ring of Fortune. I can see why it's the bane of merchants. So that's a fun little ring, and that's an uncommon, and that's really cool. Now, there's some really neat ones in here. Let's see. So that was an uncommon one, right? That was uncommon. Let's see what's next. We got rare, okay? So let's go in this book and look for a rare something or the other. Oh, look, here goes another really cool uncommon one. Like a bardic one. But no, wait a minute. I said we're going to look for a rare one. So I got to find something rare here. Although I got to tell you, I really like this Gravewalker's Fiddle. We're going to talk about this. So this is a violin. There it is. That's it right there. The purple. Of course it's purple. Yes, thank you very much. I know. I'm kind of partial to it, and it's uncommon. So here we go. This violin is crafted from purple heart wood, inscribed along the back of the neck of the words, "In life I was silent, in death I sing." As an action, you can play one of the songs listed below to summon a number of undead creatures under your control. The creatures are allies to you, blah, 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 this, that, the other. Skeleton Shuffle. So you play the Skeleton Shuffle, and you can play an upbeat song that summons 4 skeletons. Okay, to the tune of Cupid Shuffle, maybe. Okay, and then the Shadow Serenade. So you play like a concerto or something, or one of those serenades. You play a song of longing that summons 2 shadows. Oh, that's kind of crazy, right? Requiem for a specter. You play a slow song of mourning that summons 1 specter. Pretty nice for an uncommon item, right? So there's crazy stuff like that in here too, which is really neat. All right. So maybe a bar wants to be a necromancer, but doesn't want to really switch over. So, there's always kinds of wonderful things here. Now, this is a Tome of Wondrous items. Okay. Usable for 5e, a miscellany of magical things. You don't always have to create your own stuff. Here goes a bunch of scrolls. Oh, let's look at a ring. Let's look at a, what did I say? Rare. Rare, right? Okay, so let's go to rare. Since I really didn't use rare in the other one. What do we got here? Very rare. Oh. Okay, so these are two kind of contrasting rings. Here we go. So a ring of life sharing and a ring of life stealing. Okay, they're both rare. They both require attunement. Okay, so this is a matched pair of rings. Now, see, there we go. So here, you have to wear both the rings, right? Which is one of the first times I've actually heard of that with rings, but there it is. This matched pair of gold rings have star-shaped rubies set in them. Each pair of rings of life sharing is uniquely marked in some manner. When wearing a ring of life sharing, during a short rest, you may call upon the person wearing the matched ring of life sharing, exchanging hit dice between you. Also, you may use a reaction when you suffer damage to transfer any or all the damage to the person wearing the matched ring of life sharing. However, the person wearing the matched ring of life sharing must consent to these transfers. Oh, that's pretty wild. Maybe the mage and the warrior are a couple, and they have these matched rings, so that when, in case the mage ever gets attacked, they can life share with the warrior. Ah, very cool. Very cool. It could be their wedding bands. See, now we got story in it. Now we've added story to this rare item. Okay, so like I said, this just came to me. I mean, I think that's just really cool. Now, oh look, there's a set of rings of love. Okay, I wonder if there's any pictures of this stuff in here. There's some pictures. There's a rod of dragon. We ain't talking about that. Let's talk about the rings of life stealing. These rings look like rings of life sharing and operate like them in all ways, save that one ring shares hit dice and receives damage, while the other receives only hit dice and shares them. One ring shares hit dice and receives damage, while the other only receives only hit dice and shares damage. Wow. Which ring is the sharer? The receiver changes periodically. Hey, how you doing, Nick? Nick just walked in. Great guy. You guys can come and ask him for any magic questions. He's got the answers. If he doesn't, he'll find them for you. Okay, so that was a rare set of items, right? Now, that's pretty cool. Now, let's talk about very rare. Okay, so look at this. I looked at this Rod of Dragons, and it's very rare. It also requires attunement. Let's talk about that one, okay? So this rod is shaped like a dragon's neck and head, the mouth starling. There are 10 different types of rods, one for each dragon, pretty much. Yeah, 5 chromatic and 5 metallic. There's all kinds of things you gain from the different dragons while attuned to the rod. You gain resistance type and movement type associated with that rod. Once per long rest, you may use the rod's attack form. So it's once per long rest. So, I mean, it's pretty nasty, don't get me wrong. But, it's once. It's not like these are game-altering, life-shattering items either. It's not like they went crazy that way either. That rock can be used once. Okay? Now, the last one that I have for you is the Tome of Alchemy. It's also something that's usable for 5e. Tome of Alchemy. And you can go find all these online. Or maybe not. I'm not sure. I mean, some of them may be Kickstarters. But this has a whole different element to the game. This is all about alchemy. So if you want somebody in your game really wants to get into alchemy, like this guy here, I mean, I guess that's what happens to you when you get all into alchemy. You have goblins and people just throwing stuff into a vat and they're stirring. So in case it blows up, it doesn't hurt you. I don't know. That's a smart alchemist, I guess. So you've got, now here's a neat thing. In here you can make grenades, pellets, and stones. Really neat stuff, you know. I mean, some of it's expensive, some of it's inexpensive, but these are like recipes that you can make. And then, of course, here's something neat. Here's a magical item, Gloves Alchemical. You get a bonus action to cause these gloves to burst into elemental energy. You know, so there's all kinds of cool stuff in here. They can make all kinds of different arrows, chemical devices, splintered arrows, tangle shot arrows, thunder arrows, marking arrows, shrieking arrows, just all kinds of crazy stuff in here. What else is in here? Let's see. Tinderwig, Trap Springer, a water purification sponge, a weather rune, all neat things they can make. You know, if you want somebody to take in, really wants to, liquids and tonics, slumber swig, smelling salts, sweet rest, thieves heart, an endurance booster, ointments and paste. The book gets into all things, tinctures, cups, eyes, and spectacles. I mean, there are dusts, all kinds of things here, elixirs, but everything's alchemical. So if you want to add alchemy into your game, this would definitely be something. And by the way, you don't have to use everything in here. You might just let them pick out one or two alchemical recipes, you know, that you want to kind of introduce to the game. And then, you know, every once in a while, they may find another formula. If you want to break up a more powerful formula into 2 or 3 parts, why not? Okay, so there's a lot of role-playing material here too also. Now, last, I'm going to show you something that I use. This is just a program that I found online that makes random ones, and I choose which one of the random ones I like and don't like. But as you're going to notice, they're not overly powerful. These are all uncommon. There's like a rare in here, but most of it's all uncommon. Okay, that's just what I want. I want uncommon items. So I take this one, Bracers of the Masterpiece, uncommon bracers. So blessed by galore. Once per long rest, when you fail a death save, you may choose instead to succeed on that save. Okay. Is that game altering? Matter of fact, I'm sure it is for the character, but it's not some kind of earth-shattering magical item. Here we go. I like this one. Let me see. Let's go to talk about the rare ring. The rare ring. Here we go. The Frozen Ring, which it's a rare ring. You have to attune to it. You get this benefit, Uncanny. This item has 3 charges, and it regains 1d3 charges daily at dawn. Okay? While you are attuned to it and you fail a dexterity saving throw, you may expend 1 charge to succeed on that saving throw instead. It's a nice item. It's a rare item. It's something that would really help out a character. Yet once again, it's not a game changer. It is for that instant, that one instance. They can do it 3 times. But if they roll 2 or 1 the next day, they gain 1 charge back. There you have it. So, nice item, yes. Is it overpowering? No. No, not even. And these are just fun things. Here we go. Here's another one. It's called the Wizard's Rose Boots. And listen, I didn't name these. Astrid likes rings. Indeed, she does. So these are Wizard's Rose Boots. And it's funny because they have nothing to do with them. But here we go. Strike from the Shadows. That's what this attack is called. If you have 1 or more levels of Rogue, once per rest, you may use a bonus action to increase your sneak attack damage by 1d6. That'd be really cool if you're trying to kill somebody and make for a really good role-playing moment. The sneak walk, the rogue walks up there. I mean, imagine this. Okay, rogue walks up there. There's an ogre that's guarding the treasure, the prisoner, the way out, that you're trapped, the way out. The rogue rolls stealth. He's being quiet, rolls really well. He's being quiet. Silent. Stealthily walks up behind the rogue. Rolls his attack roll. Bam! roll to 20. Holy moly! We sat there and created the ogre. Rolls his dice, rolls his sneak attack dice, and then goes, you know what? I'm going to use my charge to roll another d6. And rolls that d6 and kapow! Kills the rogue. The rogue kills the ogre. Oh, that's awesome. Now, there's a role-play moment. The rogue gets to shine for that one instant. The party gets to escape or capture or take the treasure or release the prisoner, whatever the case may have been. But the rogue got to shine for that one moment. There's nothing wrong with that. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. And I think that's where magical items shine the most, is when they enhance the gameplay, when they enhance a player's abilities to the point where they for that one moment, they get to shine, and everyone's like, ooh, and they're like, oh man, I got to do something really cool. You know? That's where these magical items really, if you're just throwing magical in, and this is what I was going to get, where I'm kind of leading with this is, don't just throw magical items in there just to put magical items into the game. Like, if you don't have any fighters and you put a +5 Holy Avenger in there, and there's no paladin to really use it or warriors that even care to use it, what's the sense of putting it in there? Who cares how much it's worth and what a great power it has just because you rolled it? No, look at the magical items and pick and choose what you put in there. I don't ever roll on the tables. And if I do roll and I roll a sword, I change it to something that I want to put in there. Most of the time, I pick out the magical items. I know my players. I know what will help them. Sometimes I'll choose something like stuff like this, one time between long rests. But boy, that one time can be one heck of a time, right? So think that through when you do. Potions are a dime a dozen. I know it says, they're common. You shouldn't have a lot of magic. But you know what? To me, first of all, adventurers are not normal people in the first place, okay? Your common barkeep, your common farmer, your common hunter is not going to go chasing down a conclave of orcs. Just not going to happen. Even if they all got together and decided to, they probably come back with, if they're lucky, half of them still alive, right? So adventurers are already, by the name and their profession, more than normal, all right? Treat them that way. They should be special. They should one day become heroes. I mean, that's the way I've always viewed it, and I am the storyteller. I'm the one who's going to make that possible. As the DM, I am going to help them flourish while challenging them. Because, to be honest, any game master can kill any party at any point. That's all there is to it. But that's not what the game's about. For that, there's many other games that you can play, okay, where death is guaranteed. All right? But here, you want to push them to their limits. Sometimes, yeah, they're going to go down. And sometimes the dice aren't with them. And sometimes they're not with you. And that's just the name of the game. It's called Lady Fate, Fortune, Luck, whatever you want to call it. All right. So that's what I have to say about magical items. I wanted to introduce you to several other ideas how to use magical items and kind of go over a few that I use and kind of break that barrier down a little bit. I think magical items are great in the game. I think they help to make the game more. Okay. They provide for wonderful items, wonderful items that allow you to role play. All right. Oh, and on behalf of Astrid, I would like to say, if you have seen a Woodwold anywhere, please contact her at the Dragon Song Inn. All right. Thank you. That's all for today. She has been following, trying to find this Woodwold forever. I'm just trying to help her out a little. So see, Astrid, that's a little something for you. Anyway, don't forget about tomorrow being painting day with Fiona. And then you're welcome. You're very welcome. If anybody knows the location, send it to johnsdc2021 at gmail.com, care of the Dungeon Master. Anyway, so don't forget about the 17th, the game day and the battle royale as far as D&D goes. And don't forget about the Mimic Dice. These are really cool, all right? DMs on a budget. Hey, I can't tell you enough about these spell effects and the DM starter for monsters. All right, so as always, May the road rise up to meet your feet, and may all your adventures be successful. This is John from John's Dungeon Corner at the Collective in Altamont Springs, Florida, saying, see you next Friday. And have a wonderful weekend. I hope to see you. I probably will come by tomorrow and check in with Fiona, because I've always wanted to just sit down and be able to, other than watching, participate. So I'm gonna probably grab one of my unpainted miniatures and come up here tomorrow. I'm gonna have some fun. I'm gonna relax for the weekend. How's that? All right. Thank you, love. I appreciate it. And everybody, thank you for watching the show. And for those of you who watch it later, thank you for watching it later. I appreciate you. See you later.